Aw, come on, Heathcliff. It's not that bad. Everyone will have to go through it sometime. Hey, welcome back to more Limbus Company. I'm SlayerMathis, and last time we started off Canto 6, very briefly started off, and this time we will be continuing on with our good old Canto, as opposed to a Canto. We Canto, indeed.
Yes, indubitably.
Oi. I saw you got there. What'd you get?
Hey, sorry! Please take everything! Take as much as you want! Here's my watch!
Sir Heathcliff! Heathcliff was looming over the man, growling threateningly. Certainly fits the look of a villain from this particular angle. Lass, I was just complimenting him for a sharp fashion choice. Lad's overreacting.
This is literally everything I have! I don't want any money for ransom even if you were to kidnap me! Please don't kidnap me! I've got family! They're all waiting for me to come home!
The men we inadvertently saved from the hands of thieves were shuddering and screaming incoherently, almost to an unnatural degree. And where we're still not out of the dark alleyways where other thieves might be waiting to get the jump on us.
Oh, is this racket? Oh? Well, what have we? There's been loads of time only working for us. 10 minutes? No, I'll take 5 minutes too. Ain't you over there?
How's everyone here obsessed with time?
You won't give it up, will we? We'll have to kill you and take that cloak for ourselves.
Clock?
Wait, me?
The timepiece headpiece is, not necessarily always the best for, blending in. Well, I guess we can steal their time if they're just piles of meat. Meat pile. You. What? We're attracting more of them to us. Go right now, we'll feed you the meat grinder back at our rickety camel bus, that clear?
Then, you're not here to kidnap me?
No, I don't even know how many times I've told you.
Of course not, for we are the
Trying so hard not to say it. The passers-by of justice. Sir Heathcliff here can be rather brutish in his manner of speech, that is all.
Right, passers-by of justice.
So why are they asking us for time, not money? Maybe time just now the commodity would be sold and bought here. Is it just me again? T-Corp pamphlet guide, no one really... Ishmael's eyes start to glaze over. Once again, she may have been the only sinner who bothered to read up on our destination. T-Corp, also known as Time Track Corporation. Its citizenry utilizes timepieces as personal identification. They often trade with time instead of physical currency. Their means of transaction done via the timepieces they carry. Most laborers in these lands are rewarded for their efforts with time. Thanks for the explanation, Yi-Song. Let's slide this time. Is this gonna be a problem? No, this is the only one of us who carries a watch. Ah, you mean a broken wristwatch? I thought that was wearing a stopwatch was a neat fashion statement. Not a fashion item. Never was. How insolent of you to assume. Right. I didn't mean to ask, what's got you so freaked out about kidnapping earlier?
Oh, there's a pretty scary rumor of indiscriminate kidnapping going around these T-Corp streets. These are abandoned streets, so when I saw a dozen or so people running around together, I was scared that you guys might have been the infamous kidnapping syndicate or something.
We need more details on who, when, where, what, how, and why. Proceed.
People have been going missing around here. This kind of became the last known location for a bunch of missing people. Everyone becomes a shelter during the foggy days because they don't want to get kidnapped. Look, it's even on the front page of the Times newspaper here. Mysterious kidnapping fears sweeps district. Not even a single body found. I can keep reading if you want.
Marcel wrote in Dalkio to begin enthusiastically reading the sensationalized titles and the attached articles on the newspaper he showed us. Ah, can check out that award-winning eatery, and that's far from where we are. So the time retrieval fixes have said such as in these interviews. You guys even reading the same article? Well, that's right. There's a lot less people around here than I remember. Streets used to be packed with workers headed to their factory jobs and inventors selling the useless trinkets. Never been this empty. This empty street of T-Corp was thick with fog. The bustling crowd from Heathcliff's memories nowhere to be seen. Maybe the lack of color made the fog appear even thicker. This reminds me of the kidnapping rumor we heard when we were working on the blade lineage case. Missing people? Maybe this really is a messed up kidnapping human trafficking syndicate roaming this area. Never is such a syndicate strutting about this place. Back when I lived here, at least. It's a statistical impossibility for a human trafficking syndicate to leave zero evidence behind. There's bound to be one or two they let slip between their fingers. Especially if this syndicate is so prolific to the point of indirectly discouraging the public from leaving their homes. A body or two will invariably be found. If they didn't really leave any bodies, then maybe it's worse than just your usual murders. Yeah, maybe it'd be more dangerous the more we look into it. If it's not just another violent tragedy, then maybe there's more to this than we think. Maybe there's some powerful organization pulling the strings. You know, that's a lot of conjecture just to make from the fact that no bodies have been found. I'm sorry? Guys, the night in the back streets. A single sweep from those sweepers leaves nothing behind. Every trash in the back streets, including corpses, is completely cleaned up.
Right, clean up the corpses, yeah.
Of course, it's kind of scary they clean up more than just trash. The idea of sweepers really freaked Sinclair out for a while. That's because Roger kept making funny noise and sweeper impressions of me every night. I mean, to be fair, a sweeper impression is hard to do. If we go off of their library appearance, where it's a lot of, like, garbled noises, various garbled noises. In a serious case of missing persons in a street shrouded in thick, heavy fog. It's almost as if we're in the middle of some scary urban legend. Not that I'm scared! Not at all!
Don't force yourself to laugh, Sinclair.
I don't like this at all. We're this scared so soon after entering the nest. Everyone seems to be on edge thanks to the unsettling story we heard earlier. I know what to do. Heathcliff, that invitation, can you read it out loud for us again? It'd be a good idea to remind ourselves of our current mission. Besides, I could use a refresher myself. Just an invitation, nothing special about it. The neatly folded invitation Heathcliff produced from his pockets completely betrayed his attempt at appearing aloof. It was folded with such tender care that it almost resembled a neat paper craft. He cleared his throat. Please, honor this occasion with your presence. With great respect, Nellie. And, bollocks. You have to be here, Heath. I'll be waiting, Kathy. Damn. It wasn't exactly what I had in mind when I asked him to read that letter. Want to be a party crowd at some dive bar? Oh, so what's what we were going for? Here's what happened. I ain't even mad. Besides, all she said she'd be waiting. Never said she missed me or wanted to see me. Come on, bud. Just look at the way she wrote it. Here. Let me see. Some sinners gathered in a circle like doing a literary analysis of the invitation letter. Maybe I was worrying too much. Like school kids opening their first love letters. What, were you never interested in those things, Sinclair? I was a good, diligent student. The only thing I ever cared about were my textbooks and school lectures. Sinclair, thy countenance appears to be turning rosy again. For the last time I said, it's genetics! What about you, Dante? Oh, never mind. What's with the oddly sorry look on your face? The man has no need for your sympathy. I'm certain there are those who appreciate their unique appearance. Is it not odd? What, someone actually wrote Heathcliff a love letter? Oh my, he's son. It's such a rude thing to say. No, I had no intention of relaying such crass sentiments to... just kidding, he's son. Just kidding. It's actually thinking the same thing. Since we're not looking for a lobotomy corp branch of T-Corp, since we're heading to this Wuthering Heights manor instead, I suppose that's where we'll find the Golden Bough. That was precisely what I intended to convey, Mrs. Ishmael. Thank you for bringing that up. I was starting to get tired of being the bringer of unpleasant news. Hopefully none of you are under the impression that we're heading to Wuthering Heights just because of some invitation Heathcliff received. Because if you are, you'll be sorely disappointed. Alright, so if we're looking at the context throughout the sin, what she's really trying to say here is... No, but you gotta look at the tone she used here. Sure, moving on. There was a report from the LCCB that a Golden Bough has been observed. They narrowed its location down to somewhere within the Wuthering Heights manor. But there was a significant risk on account of the manor's unique security system that prevented the Before team from conducting their on-site preliminary survey. The exact location of the bough is yet to be identified. Unique security measures? Not sure if I remember anything like that. Alright, then it's even more odd. No other way to put it. Indeed. They remain ignorant of the monetary value and the public perception of its worth. I do know that the Golden Bough is not an item so easily obtainable that it may be housed in a normal private manner. It can be shared that the Golden Bough wasn't always located inside the manor. Then the Golden Bough, its previous location in an unknown area within the T-Corp's Lobotomy Corp branch, has been transferred to the manor for a reason we are yet to be aware of. Right. This Catherine push will be a major part of the operation. Having Golden Bough to herself in that manner. She's gotta be one confident woman, too. Confident enough to believe that Heathcliff would come to the manor just to see her face, even if it wasn't for the Golden Bough. None of this conversation seemed to even register to Heathcliff, however. Oh, let me know if you see a barbershop boutique nearby. This isn't a tour bus, Heathcliff. I'll not make unnecessary stops like the one you suggest. Right, I get it. Why don't you just leave me on and go ahead? I'll catch up. So Heathcliff, I've been watching the shops very closely. I haven't noticed a single open shop. It might be because of the rumors earlier and the fog. Why don't you just leave it to us, Roja and I? What the hell? Wait! I enjoyed the comedy theme. Or however you would word such a thing. Colors. We don't... but we're not going to use it. Probably just going to save the polls. I don't know when I'm going to use the poles. I will eventually use them, don't worry. But I don't know when. The bus emerged from the back streets into a rather quiet-looking village. The fog was still thick and everything was still in that faded hue. Even the occasional sightings of pedestrians had ceased. The very idea of color variation seemed like an alien concept here. All I see are orange-hued lights coming through the windows of misty gray buildings. It was as though everyone decided to stay indoors for the day. I can't even tell where we are or how close we are from our destination anymore. Have you been here by any chance, Yusung? He was the only sinner who had spent a while in T-Corp, so I decided to ask if he recognized anything. But it was evident that the scenery was unfamiliar to him. Though I have resided here for some time, most of my hours spent earning a living, conducting my research when I could afford to do so. Thus, I have not ventured freely the streets of T-Corp. I can't imagine doing any research in a place like this. Can't have been easy. It is quite manageable with accustomed to this well-chromatic sight. The presence of variance in color itself is a concept alien to those who are born and raised in these lands. It had the shoulders of those that I could lean on, even for a fleeting moment. It helps to have such support when acclimating to a place as foreign as this. Yusung looks to a place far beyond here. Memories of his past, most likely. Ever hear anything about what T-Corp singularity is? As all singularities are, its true nature, its mechanisms, and function are all something of an enigma, yet... Yusung paused and carefully began to speak. I am aware that it has aught to do with time, though I am unsure of its use. I suppose this is all but meaningless conjecture, and only Miss Faust among us must be aware of the answers. Its singularity is one of the reasons T-Corp constantly drains color from the inhabitants. It's got time to do with color. If the control of time is so imperative to T-Corp's operation, they must also control the realm of light. As light inherently has much to do with the spectrum of colors, the two subjects eventually overlap. That is as far as I could deduce regarding the concept of time that I am aware of. Yet it must also be said that it takes time for me to reach Faust's specific knowledge regarding T-Corp's singularity. Faust has been known for her maybe, and perhaps. Rarely ever a game of answers this detailed. Now it's time to ask all my questions! Miss Faust, we discussed the subject of time. Indeed, it would be safe for us to move on from the subject of T-Corp at this time. Aww. There she goes again, teasing with stuff she's not going to tell us anyway. Well, I guess we should be glad that she decided to tell us this much. I doubt she'll tell us more no matter how much we pry. It's kind of sad. The people who've never seen color in their whole lives all because of the singularity. Well, that's just how it goes, isn't it? In the eyes of a stranger, just be another one of those poor miserable people who's never seen color. That's the danger in trying our very first bite of the meat. You taste it once, you never know the flavor. In the end, you start wishing you never tried it. It's very disappointing that even the sun loses its vibrancy here. Often I long to see the colors of the sky, especially the sky that looms over a light shower of rain. Yeah, things like the color of the sky, too. You want to see it only because you've seen its beauty. You were born here to never to escape its borders the last of your days without ever seeing the blue sky. I'd hardly call the death miserable. Calling even that miserable is nothing but sheltered arrogance. I guess that could also be true. The atmosphere in the bus suddenly became incredibly flossy. Oh, hey, speaking of color, I got something to ask you. Have you guys ever heard of the colors game? Apparently each type of personality has a corresponding color. Ryoja, who was the one to chill the bus in the first place, was also the first to break the ice. If Yusung enjoys the light blue color of the sky, then let's see. He must be a thinker and philosopher who prefers the calm and quiet. How did you come to know that? It's quite the remarkable talent you have. Oh, God! Oh, it's my favorite color to be rated as well! Forsooth, I quite fancy the color red! Nay, yellow. Nay, red! Nay! Now, wait your turn. Next in the order is Faust. Wait up. I know what you're about to say. You're about to say Faust does not hold much belief in such ideations. Or something like that, right? It's exactly what people like the color white would say. Am I right? Like your hair's white, too. I will not comment further on the subject. Eh? Favorite color? Stupid questions. Nah, lass. Well, look. He pauses. A great manor begins to emerge into our view from a distance. I can immediately tell that this was the Wuthering Heights manor Heathcliff had mentioned. Black. It's the color you get when you dump a toss out of paint in a bucket, ain't it? That's exactly why I tolerate it. Keep throwing paint over paint, and I get black. Simple. I can clearly hear that Heathcliff is muttering through gritted teeth. The feeling that black wasn't always his favorite color. Ooh, we get our moody British boy. Those are apparently a hot commodity. The makeover! Hey everyone, welcome back to Limbus TV. Today, we're gonna have a Heathcliff makeover. I love this art, by the way. I still like the Great Lake art a little bit better, but God, the CGs that they do, like these little story cutaways, are so fantastically drawn. Do things change the moment the Wuthering Heights manor appeared over the horizon? Mirror, I need a mirror. Anyone got a mirror? Come on, anyone! What's going on, Heathcliff? If this mirror isn't... One was Heathcliff, who was suddenly overcome with intense anxiety. The other was the weather that grew dark and tempestuous all of a sudden. What a terrifying noise. Now, was the weather here always this awful? There's always this... windy, eh? Well, it's like a constant tempest. With thunder and lightning. Yeah, Wuthering Heights was always this awful, thunder or not. It really is one massive manor if it looks that big from this far away. Can't see well. Not sure if this is the right place, but we're here. Then in goes boom, eyes go out. This manor looks as though it came straight out of a dark gothic tale full of mysteries. I was not expecting to hear a haunting cry echoing from its windows. Just waiting for Virgilius to go off the bus again? When hasn't that been the case, Manager Bud? It's not like we're taking to a botany corp branch or entering one of the wings, right? Just a manor, so I don't see what's stopping you from coming with us. No, off the bus. Karen and I. We'll wait outside until we're done with our mission. None of the students were hiding their dissatisfaction with Virgilius. Some were even standing with their arms crossed. But the looks on your faces clearly will collectively have something to say. Of course not. How would I ever dare to challenge thee? Maybe not every sinner. They've gone through a lot of things. Survived various trials and tribulations. Tribulations that could have been easily handed had Virgilius been there with us. So, Virgilius. Looks like Ishmael decided to step up as our representative. You introduced yourself as our guide, didn't you? The kind of guy just tosses everyone at the start of the journey and goes off on their own with the bus driver. Or are you guys even going? I want to make clear that I'm not being a hard ass for no good reason. I'm asking you because I want to trust you. After all, we're technically all in the same boat. We're co-workers. I'd say the least you could do is tell us where we're headed. Virgilius held silence for a moment. His brows were not as furrowed as they usually are, which was the only indicator to me that he wasn't as offended to hear this as I thought he'd be. Just like you sinners who join this company via your individual contracts, I also sign a contract with specific clauses and conditions I must abide by. The company made thee, a colorless Electra, sign a contract as well? Of course I did. I want to be babysitting you children on this bus otherwise. I'm not willing to work for free. I don't want to bother detailing each and every clause in my contract to you, nor should I. But Ishmael, I quite like to use the word trust in your speech, so I believe that you deserve at least a brief explanation. I'm not supposed to retrieve the golden boughs myself, nor am I allowed to provide you with any direct support. The contract stipulates that I must leave everything to the manager and the sinners. Why the hell would you sign a contract like that? It's always as meaningless to ask me why. Contracts rarely ever supposed to be fully understood by those that are not a part of it. But what I can tell you is that when I ask you sinners to leave this bus for a mission, I suppose, in a way, I say it with a lighter heart than I used to. I'm no longer concerned that, in my desire to fulfill the conditions for every clause in my contract, the manager might be irreversibly hurt. I would be left with nothing if such a thing were to happen. Did he just admit to trusting us more than he used to? Don't make him repeat something like that, Dante. Especially when someone went through the trouble of expressing their true hidden feelings. Besides, what? I'm not going in there like this. Nope, you gotta do this. Oh, turn the bus around! Murphy doesn't do U-turns. Bollocks, I ain't going back to the man in these wrinkly rags. Man, every single one of our elaborate plans to dress him up in fancy clothes fell through. You don't look that bad. I'll go black in these rags, these bastards, who are they? Bastards that always eye me up and down, trying to find a speck of just single flaw, something to latch on just to humiliate me. And gouge out their eyes. Well, that would be quite a clever solution. Won't you even... Looks like Heathcliff is the only one taking this seriously. What the hell is wrong with the pair of you? Quick giggling like that? Good thing we came prepared exactly for this occasion. I just can imagine Heathcliff managed to pull off this makeover on his own. Rhodey and I did some shopping backstreets before we entered the nest. We were waiting to reveal these just in case there was anything even more impressive in the nest. But thanks to the disappointing lack of anything even remotely interesting, we'll just make do with what we picked up earlier. What a bloody second. The two of you went off your own. No, all you brought back was a whole basket of cookies, wasn't it? That's because we're decoys, Cookie Heath. Well, some of them did have to as part of my daily sustenance, of course. Well, I couldn't find the particular brands I use back home. They should be more than enough for a proper fashion makeover. Come on, can we keep things nice and happy for once, I don't wear something else than a uniform, just for today. Like, no one wants to beat their old flame while still wearing their work clothes, right? Well, tell the guy to level anything like that. Fine. What? I prefer if we didn't encourage another rogue incident with the back door. Seriously, God! Heathcliff trembled like he was about to give Virgilius a big hug. Now, Heathcliff, close your eyes. Relax and let us take care of everything. Change with the proverbial peach blossom spring. What? Don't touch Violet! Oh, you ain't half bad. Heathcliff's gonna makeover. I love this art too. Sometime later. And think about what we're done it with there.
Don't touch it. Do you even have any idea how long Hung worked on that?
Where does back go?
It's reading at the center. Can't possibly let him say hello to his old flame with a big British club in his hands. So Heathcliff appeared at the time more merciful than usual. Mayhaps he shall accompany my request, or accept my request to, should I implore him to purchase me a pint of ice cream? And look, it looks like he is on the verge of punching me when I make the smallest noise. Lad, please don't bring anything like even remote like that in front of Catherine.
Well, I'll be. Rules really do make the man. Do let me know how this reunion goes. I'm looking forward to hearing that tale.
Sure. So Heathcliff, I've been meaning to ask this question for a while. I wanted to know the answer, but I couldn't bring myself to ask him. Why'd you leave Wuthering Heights? It's where the love of your life lives, isn't it? Heathcliff, who'd been busily moving about and preparing to leave the bus, suddenly comes to a halt.
I don't mind it. Thrashings, the starvings, the abuse, them treating me like a servant, like I'm something beneath them. I don't mind being treated like I'm nothing more than an afterthought, like I'm someone pure trash to be discarded. But when I heard what Catherine said, I realized I no longer had any reason to remain in that manner.
Heathcliff did not elaborate further.
Perhaps it wasn't that he didn't, but that he couldn't bring himself to.
I didn't dare ask what he was about to say, so I simply nodded in response. I see. Oh, looks like Karen's got something to say about your new fit. Karen has something to say. Something big. Great, awesome. Now, Karen, what'd you think? Looks oily and greasy. Karen doesn't like greasy. Oh, this is not how I thought it'd go.
Karen's voice must have hit him hard. It took quite a bit of convincing Heathcliff, who was severely discouraged by Karen's remark, to exit the bus. We're probably past the 20-minute mark, but I will continue because we've got a lot of story. Canto 6 is very story-heavy. It's been it's been a while since we've had a lot of story things like this. I believe Canto 7 does have quite a few as well. But, hey, it's free lunacy. So I'm comfortable. As I know if this close squeeze out with every step I take.
That's what it means to maintain an air of dignity. Once you get used to that feeling, you feel like you're missing something right if you're dressed casually.
So this must be the front gate to your former place of abode, Heathcliff. The massive gate alone feels downright intimidating. That's one big front door. It is known that in certain regions of the city, the size of the front gate is an indicator of one's social standing. The magnitude of this front gate indicates that the owner of this house is very affluent. Heathcliff, you picked on Hall and Lewis for being a rich kid when you were raised in some huge mansion yourself.
I don't mind it at all. I feel a bit betrayed, actually. So Heathcliff, thou appearest quite different today.
Keep your stupid comments to yourself.
Some were teasing him, and some were generally surprised, but it didn't matter to Heathcliff.
Every word he spat out was dripping with venomous spite. He wasn't even remotely close to being rich. He was never once rich in this manner. He wasn't even allowed to be content, not even for a moment. This man never accepted me, not even for...
What?
Lightning strike. He was struck in an area near the forest.
So loud. It's okay. I know it's extremely rare for lightning to actually hit people.
A moment dare amusing reveals that strike of levity brings about sensation that unlike the joy of fireworks. It fills the dark and cold void of the night sky with its incandescent brilliance, even for a brief moment, before fading away into oblivion. Right. In exchange loses everything it has, burning and leaving nothing but ash behind. What joy is there to be found?
I can hear some forest critters fleeing, spooked by the thunderstrike. Behold, a tiny squirrel over yonder! Ah, such nice, so close to home. I know you lived in such an eco-friendly place. I suppose I wouldn't have to go through the trouble of building a private zoo if I lived in a place like this. To have a garden or forest so near their home, if we were to ignore everything else, that alone indicates that it's only someone of unimaginable affluence. Right, I remember St. Clair was in the middle of a forest too.
Squirrels, sure, and other animals roaming about too. Sometimes when I was so miserable I could hardly bear to even be in that manner. I'd go up to the forest and not return for a long, long time.
Then this tiny forest friend, Little Sir Squirrel, must have been quite the jolly companion for thee. Little Sir Squirrel!
The little squirrel that may have once been Heathcliff's tiny forest friend was immediately scorched down to a pile of ash the moment it crossed over into the manor's front gate. That was, where lightning strike. They're just curved mid-air.
The chance of such an occurrence is extraordinarily low.
Might just be that I'm overreacting, but it looked as though that lightning was curving it to a strike exactly where that squirrel was standing. Heathcliff, I knew you grew up in such a dangerous place. Perhaps you even survived. Ah, blimey, I'm not saying anything like that. Right, Heathcliff, ready to knock on the front gate?
Front gate.
He started blinking at the front gate of the manor. I've not knocked on this gate in a good many years. I just had to wait out here for hours because they all refused to let me in. One except Catherine. She snuck out of the manor to open it for me. Walking through the heavy rain. Well then, I'm sure it won't be different this time. So if I knock, Catherine will come out to let me in. Cliff takes a deep breath before knocking on the front door. Nothing. That's not what I meant when I said it won't be different this time. We can try climbing over the fence. I think we can clear that high as long as we're okay with breaking our ankles. No. Cliff was a whole bundle of anxiety before he knocked on the front gate, but perhaps his perceived slight reverted Heathcliff to his usual angry sight. I was invited to this mountain. The invitation will be meaningless if I leap over the fence. Catherine! I'm back! If he ignored you once, could you shout one? Catherine! Despite his efforts, not even a single soul stirred beyond the front gate. None of us really believed that anyone would come out to greet him. But, cut! The front gate began to creak open as though someone was answering his pleas. Well, the makeover was worth it, huh? I will still be continuing on. Yeah, we'll meet Nellie first before ending things off. The heavy rain and the tempest only grew harsher the closer we got to the manor. Though we have long way to pass the front gate, not a soul doth appear. The bubbling excitement of the sinners when they disembarked the bus had all but disappeared. A silent air of apprehension surrounded them as they gingerly took their hesitant steps toward the manor. Kathy! Been well? No. Catherine, it's been a while, hasn't it? No, saying either. In the midst of this aura of uneasiness, only Heathcliff seemed to be preoccupied by something else. The rest of the sinners were... Did you catch that? A bird. A subspecies of sparrow, to be exact. And then continued to strike aggressively, and as far past the front gate. We would have been burnt to a crisp had it even struck a little closer. Lightning continued to blast the earth, as though it wouldn't be satisfied until it's reduced every living thing in the manor grounds to a pile of ash. And is it gonna hit us if we walk faster? Maybe it's moving too slowly? Maybe we should speed up? I don't know. Walking speed seems to be irrelevant. Instead, it's almost as the lightning has a will of its own, striking with intent. This brings back some unpleasant memories. Maybe it's like this house's defense system. Defense system? You imply that this may be a part of this manor's security measures. Maybe another Tarkus thing that entered the manor grounds without permission. I've seen security measures that are more precise and more conclusive than this. Larger manors often do install more effective security systems, after all. I think our family talked about installing a defense system in our home, too. It was one of those topics that kept coming up during dinner. That makes sense. Now that I understand the thought process behind these systems. Perhaps the security measures that prevented the before team from approaching the manor may be... Yeah, but we have the invitation with us. I think we'll be just fine. Is that really all this is? Is this one of those normal security measures that every rich family supposedly has? Yeah, that's pretty interesting, though. The technology to change the weather itself is really, really expensive to the point of being inefficient. So expensive that I've not seen it myself. I mean, silly because I didn't want to concern the sinners with something I wasn't sure about, but the closer we got to the manor, the more confident I became that something was off. This extremely abnormal weather isn't the work of some security system. This absolutely has something to do with the Golden Bough. But this Golden Bough feels different from the ones we've encountered before. It's a bit more chaotic. These flowers, they've got color. Sinclair was right. The manor's garden was lightly littered with flowers. They were the only things of color in this dreary sight. And what these flowers are called? I guess he returned the colors to give the flowers for cough up no cash. Indeed. The proprietors of the manor must have held particular love for these flowers. To turn the color to such transient things as flowers. Or perhaps it may be that they are preposterously affluent. If quietly gazed at the patches of violet flowers as Yi Sang mused out loud. You're wrong. There's no particular love for these flowers. There's no room, no warmth, not ought to spare for mere flowers. These appeared so doleful that I felt as though he had built a tall, opaque wall between himself and the world. I could not bring myself to ask further. He did not tell us the name of those flowers. My, oh my, please, come this way! Someone hurriedly runs this way from the manor's front door holding a lantern. What an awful weather, huh? Well, I'll take our business in the Wuthering Heights manor. It's rarely ever sunny, but this is quite in the storm. Long time no see, Nellie. My word, Heathcliff, is that you? It really is you. Yeah. You haven't the slightest idea how worried I was since you left. Been eating well? Not been bullied by a rough crowd, have you? Bullied by a what? We've wanted to hear from you for so long. Do come in now. Do come in. Miss Nellie regarded us with a curious look, as though she didn't quite understand what we were supposed to be. if I may be so bold to presume, would you be our dear Heathcliff's friends? Yeah, well... Friends? Are we? The answer to that question hinges on the range of affinity one would define as delineation that separates friends from acquaintances. Of course we're friends. Precious friendships, forge and fire. Multiple fires, actually. Did you hear your dear Heathcliff's precious friends are about to freeze to their deaths in the rain, woman? Oh, my honorable guests I welcome in this place today. I must be all over the place to leave you all standing in the rain. Come in now, come in. It's a tad warmer in here than it is outside. The interiors of Wuthering Heights was rather dark, yet this manor doth have colour. Its hue appeared a tad faded from its original vibrancy, but there was colour in the manor. Well, I tell you, you see colour inside the manor. It's all about my money anyway. Believe it or not, something about these lanterns hanging about the manor brings back colours. The lanterns that return the object's original saturation. These are quite the expensive luxuries, are they not? So as we all the colours back, things still remain a tad gloomy. So where's Kathy? Heathcliff, please, tell me of your life since you've last left us. How have you been staying? Been eating well? Have you lost weight? Well, I'm glad your delay wasn't too substantial. We've all been waiting for your arrival. We? Now, let me get a proper look at you. Fine dress clothes, the hair. You've certainly grown to a right proper gentleman, haven't you? Quite the popular lad you are with a posse of friends and all. Did I? But of course, I would not have recognized you from a distance. Nellie was talking so fast that Heathcliff wasn't spared even a second to get in a single word. Nellie, was it? What's your precise relation to Heathcliff? As his precious friend, colleague, comrade in arms, can I help but be curious as to how you two know each other? Otis, who was conspicuously scanning the interiors of the manor, suddenly asked Nellie the most transparently suspicious question that I've ever heard. Oh, I'm, let's see, Heathcliff's, how should I put this? Nanny, I suppose? Nanny? What, like, you like Heathcliff's snot changes baby clothes and... Am I thinking of the right nanny? When the babies fuss about the food, Nanny spoon-feed it to them. Oi, Nellie, quit teasing me like that. I'm exactly my nanny and know that. Know each other since we were both young. I'm not treating her like a servant to follow her around if she was some my nanny. Mind you, I'm now the chief butler of the house. You see the other butlers moving about like soldiers when I give a word. Nellie, you were the best at your job. Nellie, I'm getting quite impatient, so I've got to ask. Ethan must have been wanted so badly to ask her where Kathy was. So when's the banquet starting? It said he hid his true question behind a mask of aloofness, but Nellie's expression became somewhat odd upon hearing Heathcliff's query. The banquet?
Oi! Where's that witness brigade coming? Do you even know his way? You can't just leave me gather us all. Can't just leave after gathering us all down here. If I have to sit any second longer next to these mugs, I'm gonna lose it.
His furious voice echoed from down the halls. Nellie, wait, I recognize that voice. Mike, don't rush. He just arrived, mind you. Let's join the others, Heathcliff. Like I said, we've all been waiting for your arrival. Heathcliff bit his lip anxiously and followed Nellie. This doesn't feel at all like a manor that's about to throw a party. A cruise ship party, this manor. You can't hide the rising sense of dread in getting from places like these. It doesn't matter how hard you try. This manor does not appear to have been a place where liveliness is an expected element. I see signs of rushed cleaning, conducted immediately before the guests arrived. Several cracks and errands in need of repair have been identified as well. Also, I was expecting a raucous party, yet this is quite the pressing presentation. I followed Don Quixote to the halls. She appeared terribly disappointed. I at least think I got that voice down. Nellie's, maybe not, but do I know the voice? But Nellie is, of course, our reference for Butler Ryoshu, which is just lovely. But next time, we'll have our first encounter within the actual manor with a warm reception. But until then, see you guys later.